afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting of the Capital Investment Committee to order. To begin this evening's meeting, let's, well, first we should take a roll call, right? Beginning with Alderman Berger.
Present.
Alderman Blanton.
Here.
Alderman Brown.
Present.
And the chair is here. The first item on the agenda is the setting of the agenda. Consideration of changes to the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda for this evening's meeting?
Except as written.
Second.
Motion has been made to accept the agenda and has been seconded. Any comments?
Yeah, I was going to ask a question. Since Deborah is here, Deborah, since you're here, I was just wanting to move it up. Do you have to be gone at a certain time?
No.
You're good. You're good. Okay, then we'll just leave it as is. Thank you.
You want to leave it as
Yes,
okay?
I guess so.
Motion has been made and is seconded. All in favor? We need to do a voice vote.
You can just, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. The agenda has been set. At this point, we'll accept citizen comments. I do have one speaker card, but that's for the item itself. Ms. Myrick will, I'm sorry, we'll have you when the item comes up unless you want to comment now. Okay, perfect. We'll do that. Any other citizen comments? At this point, we'll close citizen comments and move on to approval of the minutes. Item number 2 is consideration of approval of minutes for the January 23rd, 2025 Capital Investment Committee meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, move to a vote. Voice vote?
This will be a roll call.
This will be a roll call vote. Of course it will. Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, passes unanimously. Moving on to number 3, which is new business. Consideration of grant sewer availability for 103 B App 106H, parcel 06300. Staff?
Internet's lagging a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so as the map pulls up, it's coming. So this is for a sewer availability for 1 SFUE in along the Henpeck Interceptor. So when the interceptor was made, there was a tap that was made for this on the other side of the creek. So here is the, as soon as it stops spitting. There was a tap that was made for this property. The service line will go underneath the creek and then to their property, which is fine. That's what we had intended when we designed the sewer. So the water department recommends approval. I'll try and get to the map.
It's fine. It's good. I move for approval.
Second.
Motion has been made and is seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, move forward with the vote. Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Moving on to item number 4, consideration to grant sewer availability for an unaddressed property on Hillsborough Road. Staff?
Okay, so this is a property at the corner Hillsborough Road. It's outside of our city limits. As the map pulls up, they were in 2011. They were originally granted availability for 1 SFUE. They have recently are planning a very large home at this place. Here's the map. Planning a very large home, which is the fixtures and all of the count exceeds 1 SFUE. So they're actually requesting 4.2 SFUEs, which we are fine approving. But because there's a little bit of a discrepancy between one house and more SFUs, we just want the proper documentation to kind of ensure that it, follows through the charging of impact fees and everything.
Motion to approve, and I have a question.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion or question?
Question: why is it known as unaddressed property?
Because it's not been developed
Oh,
yet.
okay, got it.
Yeah, there's nothing there at the current. So it's
Is
this red property right here on Hillsborough Road.
Got it.
Oh, that right.
Yeah.
I was wondering where the heck.
Okay.
It was.
Any other questions or discussion?
Is that north of what's that road down here? Is that
Spencer Creek.
something Horse Parkway?
It's right across from Fieldstone Farm.
Fieldstone Farms. Yeah.
Okay, so it's north
This is
of that.
there might be a better.
Yeah, that's bad.
Is this a?
Okay.
It's Spencer Creek on its
Back.
east.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up here, Spencer
All right.
Creek.
Where?
This is Hillsborough.
Where's the sewer they're going to connect onto?
They are going to go under the road to,
Right there?
yes,
From Fieldstone Farms over?
yes.
Oh, okay. Sure. Got it. Right.
All right, at this time, a motion has been made and is seconded. Any other questions on the item? Move forward with a roll call vote. Alderman Berger?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Mayor?
Will they be annexed in?
Are they already in? No.
Thank you.
It's outside the city limits. To my understanding, we are not annexing them in.
Will they sign an agreement to be annexed since we're doing
Yeah.
it?
I do not believe so.
Oh, Well,
That changes.
okay, so I'd like to talk about that.
So, yeah, this has been a pretty contentious property in the water department between discussions with them. Do you want to jump in and help me with this a little bit? Because you've probably been more familiar with it.
Yeah. Okay. So the property owner actually lives in Florida currently. They came up and met with administration. I was actually out sick that week that they met, so I wasn't able to join the meeting.
Okay.
But because of the agreement that occurred, the board motion back in 2011, there was this understanding that they would not be annexed. And at the time during the meeting, I understood that it was agreed to that we wouldn't annex them simply because they're outside of the UGB. So
Oh.
that's my understanding of how that meeting ended.
I have a question. So, where's the UGB here in this area? How far outside the UGB are they?
They're right outside. It
Yeah.
stops right there at the top of Fieldstone Farms on both sides. It runs right up to.
So the green area behind
Correct.
them to the right,
Yes.
what is that?
That's all county.
That's all county?
And the
behind
green,
them?
the red that you see is Fieldstone Farms
This over here?
Yeah, right.
on both sides of the.
But, so the green behind them and the green to the south of them is all
County.
county?
County.
Yes.
That as well?
Yes.
Huh.
Let's see if there's
The
another-
yellow background is city limit.
I'm sorry. I was just looking at the maps.
That's green. Are you colorblind?
The yellow is city property.
Yeah.
This
A different
lighter
color.
color
Is that a
Like
is
green?
city
light
property.
Yeah.
This darker area right here is the county.
Yep.
Maybe I am colorblind.
Maybe you are.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'll have you, I'll turn on the podium mic and have you speak there.
Thanks, and you can mute me anytime. I remember this property when we did grant one SEF for them. And part of the contention was then that they were only gonna build one house, and we limited them to one. I remember there's a lot of discussion about it, so now that they're coming back with four, confuses me a little bit, and particularly since it's kind of against our policy that we've established whenever we provide sewer.
So the discussion back in 2011, it really revolved around building a single house. It didn't reference the term SFUE. So that was another point of confusion since we changed the way we charge impact fees. It's now based on a single family unit equivalent. They're still building a single home. And that was a big part of the discussion, but they are still limited to a single home on this. So there's
One house.
Yes, sir.
Another question.
It's just a very large home.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mayor. Yes, Ben.
Okay, the other question is, would we even have the authority?
The first shot we
Yeah.
would get at it would be in
Yeah.
5 years.
So any request for someone to annex in or us to request them to annex in if they're outside the UGB is not permissible right now?
Correct.
That's my understanding from the local government advisory, or advisory commission as well. Okay.
Any other questions? No more discussion? I have a question, and I guess my question is, if we have a policy around not extending sewer to properties that are outside our urban growth boundary and they're not in the city, why is staff recommending that we extend sewer to this property?
I unfortunately wasn't able to attend that meeting as I was ill. So, but that was part of the negotiation in getting this property to develop. So,
Sounds like it dates back to the original agreement, and so it's kinda
yeah, I
like
think
plans
there
were
was an
made.
understanding back in 2011 in which there wouldn't be an annexation. That's my perception of it. I wish I could be more clear on it.
And I guess the other question I have is around moving from one.
Mhm.
There's still one home that's going to
Correct.
be built,
Yep.
but that home will require 4-point SFUEs
That would be
in order
the
to
demand,
facilitate
yes.
the size of the house.
Yeah, the size is, it's a pretty large home, very
I'm
large.
assuming the applicant's not here.
No,
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
Well, I don't think, if we go back to 2011, I don't think we have much of a choice on this. I think it has to be, from, I remember this
Mhm.
property. I just
Yeah, I
don't
know.
remember exactly where it was, but I remember us talking about that.
hmm
So, but we also provide sewer outside our city limits quite often, depending, but a lot of them have to annex in at our request.
So there is a motion that has been made and has been seconded. We'll move forward with a vote, beginning with Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
And the chair votes no on this one. So 3-1. Moving on to item number 5, consideration of amendment 1 to City of Franklin contract number 2020-0299 with Cedar Ridge Landfill for biosolid sludge disposal for a not to exceed amount of $480,000. Staff?
Yeah, so this is a term contract that had expired at the end of last year, and we were, instead of in the interim, while we work on a method for beneficial reuse, while we're still trying to, I think we've optimized the system enough to where we can finally begin to work on that and talk with a broker and do those different things. We need to have an interim and then also a backup solution in case equipment is offline to be able to take our solids to the landfill in case we need it. So our ultimate goal is to not need this on a daily basis, but we have to have it. We need to have it just in case something were to go wrong. We have to have that option. So this is just for until the end of the year. It is estimating us only taking 1 truck per day, and we are. Taylor is our new biosolids manager. We're working toward a beneficial reuse kind of solicitation to put out with brokers. So this is just this interim solution, and then we'll also start working on a more solidified term contract for those, like circumstances where equipment is offline and we have to take to the landfill.
Move for approval, but question again.
Second.
Motion has been made and then seconded. Alderman Blanton?
Yeah, so 2 questions. Are we still referring to the finished product as sludge? I thought we had made it a much more refined end byproduct.
So this is just what the contract from Cedar Ridge what they had
Gotcha, I was
given
like,
us.
wait a minute, I thought we
Yeah, no.
moved
So
up.
we refer to ours is the Class A.
Yeah.
The Class A will be what is beneficially reused. If we have to take equipment offline downstream, then it's not a classified product, and then it really is just kind of sludge.
All right, and second question, was this already in the original budget for this year?
Yes,
Okay.
but this is much less than was in the original budget because instead of taking 2.5 trucks per day, we're only taking 1.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, is there a simple answer to what's just taking longer in this process?
So we have talked with. It's a new territory for us as far as how to solicit something like that. So we've talked with Metro and we've talked with a couple other people to kind of get examples of contracts and have started to pull a solicitation together and what that would look like. So we're working on that, and I expect it to be in purchasing hands in the next month or so.
I meant more of the actual system that's the thermal system and all of that. It says it's taking a bit to optimize that, so we're not creating the solids like we want to, and so the beneficial reuse isn't. Is that what I'm reading in here?
Yeah. So when I say that it's not necessarily the thermal system that's creating the Class A product. It's optimizing the polymer dosage so we can get a dried solid that's consistent. So as we work to optimize polymer and try and use less polymer and get a better product, and how that shifts. That's when I say optimizing. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So trying to reduce our chemical usage was getting the driest product we can. Polymer is a chemical that we add, which is like a glue. So that optimization has taken a little bit longer.
Is that a people resource? Is that a trial and error resource? I'm just trying to figure out what we're.
It was a
why is it
trial and
taking
error
while?
resource. So we really, to be honest, with the promotion of Taylor, who is now a biosolids manager, he's taken the lead on optimizing that. we didn't really have someone that was in that space to be able to take that on and take that trial and error and being able to compare trends and different optimized doses. So now that he's in that position as the biosolids manager and taking over that entire process, we're in a better spot than we were before.
It's just new territory for us.
I understand, but I also, it's an additional expend on a plant we've had open for a little while, and so I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand what our delay is, and are we gonna have a continued delay, or do we have a resource now in place that's gonna help us to get there quicker and faster, and or are we still struggling to understand where we're at? So,
No, I think one of the things that we were, I mean, with looking at the solicitation for beneficial reuse, one of the things is that with the size of our plant, we produce one load of solids a day, which is about 20 tons. Metro, who we were comparing it to, produces a lot more than that. So it's a lot more cost effective for a vendor, to come in and take their solids. So how do we make it beneficial to that? Do we look at trying to store some solids on site? Do we look at trying to, those are the different options that we were trying to look at, because having someone come from Metro's, I think, comes from somewhere in the southeast. That's a long drive for just 20 tons a day.
okay.
So that's what we've been kind of talking to them and trying to understand.
Got it. Okay.
All right, any other comments? Motion is on the floor for item number 5. Alderman Berger, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Brown?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 6, consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2024-0384 with CDM Smith for sanitary sewer system model assistance for the Goose Creek Basin sewer planning for $84,500. Michelle?
So this is, in our budget this year, we had another sewer basin that we're going to study and evaluate, similar to how we did Maze Creek this past year, where we kind of got some really good direction about where, sewer alignment needs to go, how deep it needs to go, how big easements need to be, that type of thing. So that same idea, but this would be for Goose Creek, that basin around the south plant. This is a little bit less than I had budgeted, which is fantastic, because we're not, if you remember when we did Maze Creek, we did an amendment. So this is all getting it into one shot, because now we know what we're asking for. So it's a little bit more cost effective. So CDM already has our sewer hydraulic model in their capacity. So it just makes sense for them to design, to do the master plan for the sewer, since they've already got all that data.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Moving to a vote. Any discussion on the motion? No. Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 7, consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2025-0036 with Hazen and Sawyer for on-call hydraulic water modeling assistance for a not-to-exceed amount of $50,000. Michelle?
So this is also in our budget every year, and this is for, so Hazen, a different consulting firm, Hazen has our water distribution model of, all of our pipes within the system. And this is for if we have an availability that comes in, or, just general needs of where we need to look at the system or have them run different scenarios based off of usage. This was in our budget. We do it annually. We renew it every year. And we don't, Hazen doesn't do any work unless it's authorized by the water department to do that work.
All right.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve has been made
Second.
and seconded.
Question. Did you say we do this annually?
We do an on-call contract with them annually, yeah.
All right, moving to a vote. Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Moving on to item number 8. Consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2025-0019 with Ford Colletta LLC for Parkland impact fee and construction agreement for Colletta Park PUD subdivision. Lisa?
Changing.
Oh, nope.
I'm mini.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not Lisa. Hold on.
Good afternoon. The applicant has come forward for Parkland Colletta. This was the development was on one of our oldest ordinance. So they've come through now with a density change to increase from 199 to 262. So we were able to put them on the newest ordinance possible. So basically we're moving them to the brand new ordinance.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Any other questions?
Is that voted on?
I know, I was like, when did we get that, do we get that change of
We do get the vote
density?
on that?
The density was increased for
Yeah.
62
And it was
units.
approved?
Yes.
Okay.
We approved that already?
I believe so.
Planning
Didn't
Commission
come to
approved
us.
it?
Didn't come to us, did it?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember us voting for it.
Is Colletta Park the one that's out 96
Yeah,
East?
south.
It took forever to get going?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
To-
Like I said, this was on one of our oldest ordinances,
Okay.
which was just either fees or square footage for land.
I guess Bev and I both are on the same page. I did not know they've asked for more density.
uh-huh.
I feel like I would have remembered that. So we're just confused as to when this happened and
And who-
what that looks like. And because this is one of those really contentious projects
Yeah,
that abutted county.
oh, wow.
I'm
And-
not sure on the planning side on
and-
whether it has gone forward or not. I
Remember,
would
Paul?
assume it would.
I mean, it was a battle.
It hasn't been approved yet, and if it doesn't get approved, then this contract would be.
Understood. Thank
So-
you. That's helpful.
So does that come to BOMA for approval too, or just planning?
I
Commission?
don't know if it's going to straight to Planning Commission or Planning Commission in Belmont. I'd have to check on that. I can find out and send y'all an email.
With a density increase, I would think it would have to be a development plan revision. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure on that.
Yeah,
I just remember all the upheaval and the
Yeah.
neighbors and wanting emergency access only because
Oh,
it
no,
went
it was
from
unbelievable.
county roads to city. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a bad nightmare.
I'll find out and send y'all an email.
Oh,
Thank
Mr.
you, the mayor.
Mr. Mayor?
It's supposed to end up.
We saw the increase in density at the joint conceptual workshop,
Yeah.
but I don't think we've seen it at the board level yet.
No.
No,
Correct.
you're right. You did see it, that one. That wasn't there.
We can bring this back after you guys vote on it.
I
But
think
it's
that
a,
makes
it's a
more
Parkland
sense.
agreement.
Think so,
If it
too.
doesn't go forward, therefore, we will hold them to their old Parkland agreement, which is basically words on the plat, since there was no Parkland agreement. This is just a way for us to get them to an agreement.
Yeah, I don't see any harm in doing this now, because if it doesn't get approved, they have to go back to the
Correct.
standard agreement.
I'd recommend approving it, and then
Yeah.
when the
Right.
PUD moves forward or the site plan moves forward, usually the Parkland or road impact fee
Yeah.
agreement get tagged right with it, and this can just be put on
Yeah.
consent. And if you approve it,
I think
It goes
we get
forward.
that back.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right, so motion on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, has been made and seconded. Looking for any other questions or comments? Seeing none. Alderman Berger, how do you
Yeah,
vote?
yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Brown?
Yes.
4-0, the chair votes yes. Item number 9, consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2025-0001 with Southvale LLC for the Parkland impact fee and construction agreement for Southvale.
This particular agreement, they are on a fees-only agreement. They have already paid in $741,364 with their first phase that they've brought in. They've come in doing a density change or a reduction from 512 units down to 450 units. We also will take this opportunity to move them to a fees and construction so they can recapture some of their pool and some of their amenities that are on the property.
So this is to their benefit.
This is to their benefit, and from my knowledge, on a density decrease, I don't think that requires a development plan revision.
Good.
Yeah. So they're going from,
Motion to approve.
Motion has been made
Second.
and seconded. All in, any discussion on the motion?
no, I'm good.
Seeing
I
none,
see it, I
we'll
see
move
it.
forward with a vote. Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. 4-0. Consideration of draft resolution 2025-16, a resolution declaring an existing section of right-of-way known as South Crothers Road, generally located east of Crothers Parkway and north of Long Point Way, as surplus property and authorizing its disposal by the city administrator. Paul.
so Colletta Park is having to do road improvements on South Crothers Roadway. Essentially, they're bringing the curve in, and it generates excess right-of-way that we no longer need, and so we typically deed that back to the adjacent property owners, and that's what we're recommending.
Oh,
I do remember this from joint conception.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, staff.
Move to approve. That's cleaning up that curve right there, right?
Yes, sir.
Move to approve.
Motion has been made
Second.
and seconded by Alderman Berger. Alderman Brown, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Moving on to item number 11, consideration of resolution 2025-17, a resolution declaring certain right-of-way located in an existing alley northwest of 306 Public Square Drive as surplus. Paul?
So sometimes with these older surveys, especially in downtown Franklin, there are gaps or overlaps with the legal descriptions just because of how they were done so long ago. The surveyor here identified a gap of unknown ownership, and essentially their property description goes to the southern boundary of the alley. And so the way we're going to clean this up is we're simply going to quick claim it to the property owner while still maintaining the integrity of the alley that we maintain.
Which quadrant is 306?
Is that behind?
This is northwest quadrant, so the square is right about here where the
Behind
seal
Red
is.
Pony? Is that behind Red Pony?
Well, the red pony's not on the square.
Is that,
The Jason.
Twine and,
no,
But yeah, this,
the restaurant?
after we deed this over, we still have 18 foot in the alley, which is more than adequate
northwest.
and matches the rest of the alley.
Well, which alley were you talking about?
This is the alley northwest, so this is 3rd Avenue here, and then 2nd or 4th Avenue is over here.
Yeah, Twine and,
Where?
behind where
Do
Twine
they
is and.
Old Berger Mosley,
Yeah.
and Franklin
Oh, it's
Jewelry.
behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I'm down further. Okay.
Yeah, where the seal is
Oh, I
actually
see,
the
because
square.
that's the old bank building, because it's so long on the
Yeah.
far left.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. There you go. Okay,
All right.
got it. All right. Move for. Did we move?
No, go ahead.
Move for
No.
approval.
Second.
Motion has been made and it's been seconded by Alderman Blanton. Alderman Berger, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Alderman Caesar votes yes. Passes 4-0. Consideration, item number 12, consideration of draft resolution 2025-10, a resolution authorizing the execution of City of Franklin contract number 2023-0377 with Standstill Electric Company, Inc. for the construction of the ITS infrastructure expansion project for an amount not to exceed $744,325.
So this is a project funded through the state of Tennessee, part of our ITS expansion project. We're also putting out numerous traffic controllers out throughout the city, and we're recommending approval and happy to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion has been made and has been seconded.
Huh.
Is-
Go
Alderman
ahead.
Berger?
I'm sorry. Thank you. So the adaptive signal control technology, I mean, how extensive does that cover? I mean, does it cover this area? What are you talking about for the,
Can you turn them on, Susie?
So this is
Extensive area.
this is the parent company to the adaptive signal control project that was done around the Galleria with the
Yeah.
19 intersections. The controllers are just ATC controllers, so they bring us up, for instance, for the preemption system that was just done, they'll allow us to expand that preemption system. They're just more powerful controllers. They're not adaptive signal controllers. So it's just basically replacing all of our old legacy, like 15 to 20-year-old signal controllers.
really? Okay, got it.
Which is a huge priority to the fire department.
And is it just in that area?
It's actually all over the city. So with their 75 controllers,
So it is citywide? Okay. that's-
yeah,
that's
citywide.
what-
And we're adding 5
I
cameras
didn't see
and some
that
fiber. Yeah,
Okay.
fiber optic.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And just for kind of broader understanding, this is the new technology that will allow 30-second heads up to change lights so that emergency vehicles can flow through traffic more safely and easily.
Yeah, so right now our preemption system doesn't operate citywide. Our old legacy controllers don't work with the system, so this would allow us to have citywide coverage.
Great. All right. Any other questions? Chair would entertain a motion.
I thought we had one.
Do we have a motion on the floor?
Move
We
for
do.
approval. Oh, we
All
do.
right.
Yeah, so.
Well, the
Second.
chair will now move to order vote. Alderman Brown?
Yes.
How do you vote? Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
The chair votes yes, 4-0. Item number 13, I'm gonna have to make a note to myself. Consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2025-0035, a professional services agreement with Rummel, Klepper and Call LLP for the final design of Liberty Pike and Mallory Lane intersection improvements at a cost of $579,500.
So this is the final design for that intersection project where we're doing 2 roundabouts, and this will get us through right-of-way acquisition into a place where we can bid the project.
Oh, wow. Finally. Good.
I'll move to for approval because I know it's probably not going to come to the
It ain't
right.
coming for me.
Second.
I just want to make a statement. You know how I'm going to vote. If I die, do not name this after me.
Understood.
No,
Do not.
yeah, I'm on the list. It'll be my roundabout.
Good, it can be yours, but
So a motion has been made and has been seconded. And we are very clear on the amendment that has been softly made but not properly made by Alderman Blanton.
Thank you.
Moving forward with a vote, Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
the chair votes yes, and Alderman
Guess what? I'm
Alderman
gonna say
Blanton.
no.
Go into her grave voting.
No.
All right, moving on from item number 13 to item 14, consideration of amendment 2 to City of Franklin Contract 2022-0264 with Civil Environmental Consultants, Inc. for Liberty Hills Pond Stream restorations.
So this amendment simply changes the start date so that we can get reimbursed. I'll give you a quick project update is that we're just waiting on permits at this point to bid, and things seem to be going really well between us and the HOA. And so
Good.
we're excited to get this project moving forward.
I hope
great.
it doesn't like linger throughout the whole summer, but it might. But at least there's gonna be somewhat water.
Yeah, as soon as we get those permits.
I'll move for approval.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
He just said the start date changed, but I didn't see a start date, so do we have any idea?
It just revised CEC's start date, or the contract date, back to when CEC actually started. We started a little bit early because there's a time frame on the project. Y'all approved a contract.
Right.
But to get reimbursed, we got to adjust our contract back with CEC to, just so that we can get the reimbursement. I can read it in the memo too.
Are we planning on doing this project throughout the whole summer?
It'll probably be an 8-month project. I'm hoping
8 months?
summertime we can start construction, and it'll probably go about 8 months is my guess. Some of the landscaping, obviously, we'll have to make sure it's done at the appropriate time of the year. But we'll reevaluate that once we have the permits.
I'm concerned that we make use of the weather during that
Yes.
8 months.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't want us to see us started after the summer.
Yeah, usually fall time is your driest time of the year.
Right.
But we're going to shoot to try to do it the summer fall time to get the majority of the work done if we can.
All right, motion has been made and has been seconded. Moving forward with a vote, Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 15, consideration of Amendment 3 to City of Franklin Contract Number 2019-0097 with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the State Route 96 Traffic Signal Improvement Project.
This just extends our agreement with TDOT the date so that we can get reimbursed. Just gives us extra cushion to make sure we get all our money back.
Move for approval.
Motion has been made.
Second.
And has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Seeing none, Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Item number 16, discussion concerning the intersection of Mac Hatcher Parkway and Liberty Pike and the intersection of Liberty Pike and Jordan Road. I do know that I have a speaker card on this. We'll hear from staff and then we'll recognize you. Just a moment, Ms. Myrick. Is that right?
So this intersection has always been a challenge for us. One thing to note is the northern side of Jordan Road is getting converted to a right-in, right-out. Y'all approved
Right.
that agreement with the developer to convert that to a right-in, right-out. The southern section remains a full access, which you can see here by the crash data provided by the Traffic Operations Center. Jordan and Liberty is 5.6 times higher than the statewide average, and Mac Hatcher and Liberty is 1.49 times higher than the statewide average. Ultimately, we would recommend trying to get Jordan and put the south side of Jordan Road to a right-in, right-out, but we would need to have some community meetings prior to doing so. And realistically, Jordan Road, if you did that, would have opposing right-in, right-outs, one up on 96 and one south on Liberty, so it could work. But we'd probably need to engage with the HOAs prior to doing so. Happy to answer any questions.
I might add something to that if you.
Yeah, Alderman Berger.
So, the church had been trying to sell their property there, Franklin Christian, Franklin Vineyard Church, I'm sorry. And they decided to remain there and build out on that site. Eventually, they still would like to sell the front part of that property up on Liberty. And that's when we said to take Jordan Road and bend it further over to the east and bring it out closer to the east, which I personally said, I think the one home there should be purchased so we don't impede that one home, and then we could move the road over. So to me, the biggest, well, I think the biggest advantage for that area would be to do that, to get it further away from Mac Hatcher and move it up. That's yet to be seen. I don't know if it can happen in the next few years or 10 years or whatever. So we have to deal with it now, and the residents have told me they do not want the right in, right out at Jordan and Liberty, although that would be the safest thing to do. But what they're going to do is turn right, they're going to turn into Subdivision, turn around, and then come back out. That's going to create another problem. So we just have some real big issues with that that are not going to go away probably until we can sell that. They can sell that property, or the city says this is such a problem and such a safety issue that we go ahead and purchase that property and we put that road in. And we take the matter in our own hands and take Jordan Road and shove it over to the east further, which would be a big project. It has to be put on the CIP. And but the thing that concerns me the most for sitting here and just watching it happen is not doing anything about it, not putting on the CIP, and then having these accidents increase. So,
Yes.
catch 22, but
Shifting Jordan Road to the east is something we've also
Yeah.
been exploring.
Thank you for that, Alderman Berger. Ms. Myrick, would you like to speak to them?
I would.
If you would please just identify yourself.
I'm Deborah Myrick. I live at 116 Churchill Place, which is that quadrant that you're talking about. We live off of Jordan Road, 2 streets off of Highway 96. So I wasn't aware that that was going to be brought up, so I will speak on that as well as the Mac Hatcher and Liberty Pike intersection. I do have pictures of our accident
Good.
so that y'all
Oh.
can get a visual of what
get
our
to
car
see the
looks
real
like.
thing and the
My
wall.
babies were sitting
And the wall.
and the wall. The wall just got fixed.
Did the wall get fixed?
The
Yeah,
wall
this
just
was
got
last
fixed.
They were working on it
'Cause I
during
saw
this.
it last week and it was
Yeah,
still.
so thank you for having me.
that was the wall.
So a couple of things about the Liberty Mac Hatcher intersection. It's just a dangerous intersection. I don't know if it's because of the way the north and southbound lanes come into the red light, but because of where we live, we go through that intersection multiple times. I have teenagers, one that's driving. She was actually driving she was in the driver's seat the day of the accident. So we were sitting on Liberty Pike waiting to turn right onto Mac Hatcher. So we were yielding because northbound lane had a green light. So we were sitting there and a car going southbound in the turn lane had pulled out into the intersection, yielding on the green light. The light turned yellow. They panicked and turned in front of a landscaping truck that then hit that car and came and hit us and then hit the wall. So thankfully somehow they missed the whole driver's side. They hit the back door where my son was sitting, but mostly the back of our car, spun us around up onto the sidewalk, and then we hit our front hit the back of the landscaping truck. No doubt he was not going the speed limit because there's no way he could have been going 45, hit a car, hit us, and hit that wall the way that he did. Thankful that we were in our 2005 Sequoia, but now it's gone. So what I'm asking,
And let me clarify something. You were sitting still at the time.
we were sitting still. Yes, we were, because the truck was coming. So my daughter was driving, and she's just turned 17. So at the time she was still 16, and she was waiting patiently for them to come on through because she knew that they had the light. So one thing that I would ask, there's no traffic cameras there. It's the only intersection on Mac Hatcher that does not have a traffic camera installed. And I just looked up the traffic camera again today, and it's still not been installed. But every other intersection on Mac Hatcher has a traffic camera that shows, apparently we only have live traffic stream. None of the cameras, what the people told me, none of the cameras actually record. I would urge the city to put in cameras that record the scenes to be helpful for people like me, because we have had to sue both parties because the insurance companies aren't taking any fault. So one thing that immediately that could be changed, I think immediately with, I don't know what the process is is to actually make all left turns, at least the left turns off of McHatcher onto Liberty, make those arrow-only turns, not a yield, like you have to sit there and wait for your arrow and you don't get to turn otherwise. There was actually just another wreck not even a month ago, I think, that I came on my way to work, and the person had done the same thing, except it was the northbound car that turned in front of the southbound car and got hit. So that would be somewhat of a easy fix and make it much more safer so that people don't have the option to take it into their own hands to decide if it's safe enough to turn for or not. So it would be at least to make the left turns off of McHatcher onto Liberty Pike arrow-only turns. I'm not sure about the way that it goes with Liberty onto McHatcher. You're coming from more of a 2-lane road to the 4-lane, so that may not be an issue. Secondly, I would like the speed limit changed on Liberty Pike, going from McHatcher to the new roundabout.
You feel me, don't you? See that face?
It's currently 40 and it's 35 on the other side going from McHatcher toward the factory. It's 35 miles per hour. I don't understand why it's 40 going the other way. I can kind of understand it turning 40 going from Mallory over to Carruthers because that's all mostly business. There's no housing right up next to it. But that whole corridor of Liberty Pike going from McHatcher to Mallory is nothing but neighborhoods. People come, if they see a green light, they're traveling west and they see a green light, they fly through that intersection of McHatcher. I mean, they're just coming off that hill. I mean, they're flying through the intersection. So if we could just maybe address the speed limit on that section where all the neighborhoods are. When I called and I talked to the streets people, I did bring up the fact, I know this is probably a state thing, Carruthers, Cool Springs Boulevard has an acceleration lane going onto McHatcher, I was told, now that you're restructuring Jordan, I don't know if this would be an option, but they installed electrical boxes like right up against the road. So it would cost millions of dollars, is what he told me, to change that intersection to where it has a lane, an acceleration lane, instead of just sitting there like a sitting duck to get hit.
That's right.
So I don't know with the whole change of Jordan right in, right out on that side, on the north side of Liberty Pike. So that's really all I had to say about just sharing our experience and the fact that, we've lived here since 2006 in the same house. Y'all snuck in that right in, right out down on the other end of Jordan when we were out of town. And came home one time, we're like, oh, we can't turn left anymore, which I totally agree. It's very dangerous turning left onto Highway 96. In the interim, yes, a right in, right out at the other end of Jordan for us onto Liberty would be the safest thing for us. People would not like it, but it would make people change the way they decide to leave the neighborhood. Unfortunate for our neighborhood, we are getting trapped in there because now to go down to 96, we're right in, right out. If we come back up to Liberty, we're going to be a right in, right out. Yeah. Going out of our neighborhood, we take
London Lane
to Royal Oaks. That needs a red light.
Yeah.
Because we can't we're almost right in, right out all the way around in our neighborhood because it's super dangerous to make a left turn onto Royal Oaks as well. And that's just the way it happens and the way that we're, put into our neighborhood has been, built around these roads. But I do support changing Jordan Road at the other end at Liberty if that's an option like Beverly Hittensberger has brought up of making it to where it could possibly come down and we could still make a left turn. that would, be great. But for now, our family just goes down to 96 and takes a little trip back up Catcher to go to Cool Springs.
Well, you can also go down Sheffield
Yeah.
and go down Sheffield.
We can, but we
Yeah.
do not support driving through neighborhoods as a cut through because that is what
That's what
the
connectivity
street
is.
next to us does. That sits right. What is it? What is the street?
Churchill and
it's another British.
it's a C one.
Okay.
No, it's not Cambridge.
no,
it's the other one that sits right behind the fire
Yeah.
station. All of those.
Jordan,
people-
it's I lived on
Yeah.
the court, Heritage Court, Heritage Way.
No, it's something else.
No.
I don't know. It's the very first street off Jordan, but they do cut through our neighborhood to go out to Royal Oaks. So I do not like to cut through Sheffield. Sometimes I do, but I do not support cutting through neighborhoods
Well, thank
to
you.
make my life easier.
Thank you, Ms. Myrick, for sharing.
Ma'am, are these your only copies?
No.
We need them for public record, so thank you.
Okay.
Paul, go back
Yeah.
up. I want to see
Castle,
what
are you
that
talking
street
about
name is
Castle?
off Jordan.
Castle Drive?
Churchill.
No, keep
Churchill,
going up.
Castle. There's,
Westminster.
oh, Westminster. Oh, yeah. Cambridge, Westminster.
Where do you see it? Oh, yeah, I see it.
Thank you, Ms. Myrick,
Westminster.
Ms. Myrick, for your
That's-
comments. At this point, there is not a motion on the floor, but is there any questions for
I don't
staff?
think there's any action.
I think
Or
staff's
is
got to
there
do
any-
some
No.
work.
It's,
Yeah, we can certainly look at the accident counts again and see how many of those left turners are the accidents, and we can also evaluate, do a speed study on that
Mhm.
section of Liberty and bring it back to you. It is very residential, so
Yeah.
it may make sense.
Or you could put a roundabout right before Matt Catcher.
Good idea.
I don't know if Adam has any
Don't
additional
definitely.
information.
That'd be good.
I did have a question in regards to this. So if we're going to look at a right in, right out, and Paul, you've got your box right. Well, we're further
Right.
south now. If we're going to do right in, right out at Jordan Road and Mac Hatcher, I see the stacking for the left turn or the southbound turn from Liberty onto southbound Mac Hatcher stacks quite far up into the road, especially
Yes.
during peak hours. If right in, right out, there would we be able to extend that turn lane so that we're no longer blocking an intersection, or would there be an intersection there anymore?
Where
With the right in, right out, you wouldn't need to worry about those left
There's-
turners stacking
So
it, correct?
technically, you're blocking Jordan Road if you're in the intersection
Oh, it's horrible.
between
Yeah.
Liberty and Mac Hatcher. There's that space that you're technically in an intersection there, and there's a gap in the striping. But I would like to see if we're going to
Yes,
evaluate this.
it would get extended. If we
Yeah.
did a right in, right out, those lines would get extended
Okay.
so that it makes better stacking.
Yeah.
Alderman Brown.
Thanks for looking into our only turns and the speed limit, but on the cameras, is that just, we don't, do any of our cameras record, or is that just we don't record on
Just
cameras?
the fire emergency, the downtown cameras that are for events, I think are the only ones that record.
Is it just a policy thing or a capacity thing or a?
It's probably a little bit of both. That the request would come in from my experience with taped video for traffic cameras. You almost need a full-time person to pull video. It's pretty extensive during a week for how many requests they get
Okay,
in pulling the video. That'd be a better question for IT though.
gotcha.
What we can do is follow up with our IT department and see what their stance is on it, because
Okay.
the burden would fall on them probably.
It's a massive undertaking. It's best served for private dash cams.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
And then just the other one is, since that is the only one with a traffic cam and we're just approved a bunch of traffic cams, is there an opportunity for that?
The other one without, right?
Oh, the only one without.
So traffic cameras are used for traffic flow, traffic operations.
Right.
We do have cameras at just south of Cool Springs
Okay.
Boulevard and at 96 and Mac Hatcher. If we point them both towards
Right, you're
Liberty,
looking at it anyway.
we can see what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, and they're not enforcement
It's
cameras.
redundant, they're not, I got you. Okay.
We just can't see up and down Liberty with those.
Alderman Berger.
So if we, this is Myrick's suggestion about putting a turn signal that you can only turn on the turn signal, what would that take? We'd have to work with TDOT with that, wouldn't we?
No, we can protect
Wait.
only. We can protect only those lefts.
Can you look into that?
We'll have to measure how much queue would happen.
Mhm.
The southbound has a long storage. The northbound doesn't have
That's
as
the
much
most
as
popular,
the southbound.
yeah.
So we would have
Yeah.
to look at the counts and see how much that would
Yeah,
stack.
southbound's got along. But Yeah.
It also takes away from flow because now you're servicing longer green time to dissipate the queue.
Right.
But in the interest of safety,
Yeah.
we'll look at that
Yeah,
and
it stacks
see
people up, and then you have a
see how
long
many
line.
ample crashes we
Well,
have.
And if
While
you
we're-
don't, and if the turn signal's not long enough, then you're not getting people through.
Right, stacking.
Just
Alderman
a-
Blanton.
Sorry, thank you.
Mhm.
Question, and Bev, I wanted to see if you remember this. The 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yep, I remember.
turning right
Get rid of it.
was supposed to say Monday through Friday.
Yep.
It never made it to the sign.
Oh, did
No, it just
It
says
doesn't
6
say
to
it.
6.
We
Oh, I
passed
guess-
an ordinance. I will dig that ordinance up and fix it.
Well, because I turn right there a lot,
did.
and I'm like,
We
well,
picked
I
that
mean,
up.
I voted on it, so I know if I get pulled over, I'm gonna be like, dude, go back and look.
We should probably
But it
park
doesn't
police officers
say-
out there on
Yes,
the
I will.
weekend to catch Brandy.
Ah.
I will be happy to get that corrected, and we'll go.
Could
Look.
we
Well,
do
just
that?
I'd love to know because
That's right,
if my
you brought
memory
that up.
serves,
Yeah, that's right.
it was supposed to be
It
Monday
was.
through
It
Friday.
was Monday through Friday.
I'll dig into it.
Yeah, it was 6 to 6, wasn't it?
Yep.
It's 6 to 6.
Yeah, because I
correct.
said it's ridiculous to have it during the middle of the night and at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock after 6, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock made no sense.
We'll take a look at it.
My final question for staff was around the statistics. That are these monthly accidents, annual accidents, total crashes?
What you
I
got?
believe what was provided is 3 years.
3 years. 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Still
Well,
bad.
Still
Mm.
too much.
Okay.
I mean, and
Thank you
that's
for
where
that.
that one gentleman was killed on the bike there as well.
That's right.
Was someone coming through the intersection on a red, I believe?
It was an impaired driver.
Impaired driver.
Right. But it was on a red. Yeah,
Do you have the information you need from us from this?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to do some follow up and dig into it.
All right.
All right. So no action other than that, and we'll
Yeah.
move on to item number 17, which is the capital projects dashboard and status updates for February 2025.
I really don't have anything specific to share, but I'll answer any questions you have.
What's the latest on Matt Catcher? I mean, when are we gonna get the bulldozers going? When?
On Mac Hatcher or McHugh?
No, I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. We were just
We're talking about the
Matt
dashboard.
Catcher. I've got it in my
Anyway.
brain. You know, my favorite place.
We've actually got the pre-con scheduled for,
On,
tentatively scheduled for
McHugh.
March 20th. So that's when we're going to, pre-construction meeting is March 20th. So we've got everybody, should have everybody together on March 20th.
And from
So
there,
we'd have a notice of proceed date shortly thereafter.
hopefully by April, they're.
Yes,
in the-
that's
Okay,
correct.
that's what I've been telling people. The other thing is, can you check the website? Because I had two people call me, actually, that person was something else. I only had one person call me about this. In fact, I talked to her this morning, and she called David Hodgen's phone number, and it's not his number.
Okay.
It's not the number.
I'll be glad to double
It's not
check.
the number that goes to him, and it went to, and she was shuffled through 2 other people and never got who she needed.
Okay, be glad to check.
So would you check that?
Be
So
glad
when
to.
they go to the website, and our website, and they go to the McEwen Drive project, that they have the right number of the project manager to call.
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Alderman Brown?
I'm good.
Alderman Blanton?
We're never gonna recognize Margaret's Bridge. We've talked about it and flippantly, but I thought we were serious.
I mean, we were waiting for warmer weather, and I guess it's warmer weather now. We can certainly schedule something. Normally, engineering doesn't schedule those things. We can work with administration to schedule something or communications to schedule something. We usually just get done with them, and
I know, I
they're
just-
open one day, and
The longer we get away from it,
the less likely.
Yeah.
I just had a question about the progress in Lewisburg, the water improvements.
That one, I would have to defer to Michelle on that one. I don't.
How are we
really-
looking as far as, I guess my question is, how are we looking on time? How are we looking on the next stage? I think we've done a pretty good job, it seems, of managing traffic. But as I turn that road almost every morning, I still see those big bulldozers out there. I don't even know what they're called, the things that scoop dirt up. Not a bulldozer.
Excavators.
Excavators, they're out there, and I guess just a heads up on how that project's progressing.
So it is anticipated, the schedule that we have from Gurney has them finishing at the end of this summer, so before school. The phase that they're in right now, which is from Margin to Adams, so keeping both of those intersections open and just kind of the meat of that road, is going a little bit slower. So the backfill of the trenches is not what we would expect, what we typically like to backfill. So as soon as they take a bucket out, the walls fall in. And it's just going a little bit slower. Because all of that's happening, we've had Middle Tennessee, you've probably seen propping up the telephone poles. Oops.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
You want me to
You
repeat
want to
that?
start over? I think you can start where we were. The question was around that project and.
Yeah, so the backfill from, from when that was done is not up to par with standards that we would have today. So as soon as they're, taking a bucket, scooping a bucket out, the walls of the trench are falling in. And we have Middle Tennessee out there propping up telephone poles because of just kind of the sloppy trench conditions. So they're just moving slower. It's not undoable. It's just taking a little bit longer. As far as moving to Adams Street, we anticipate it probably being around right as school is about to end, which I think works out good with what Adam has kind of wants for traffic control, as far as helping ease that a little bit. So still on par to finish at the end of this summer, hopefully before school starts again. We're currently evaluating ways to potentially not have to go back into the 5 Points intersection. If you remember when we started, there was that manhole that's right in the middle of the intersection that still needs to be done. We're looking at ways to get around doing that. We haven't solidified anything yet, so I don't want to put that out on the table, but it is something we're trying to evaluate.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
That'd be great.
Oh,
Stay away from
great,
5 Points. You don't want them to close 5
I
Points?
really would love them not to close that again.
I
That'd be
think everybody would
fantastic.
like that.
I'm sure we all would. And then once this is finished, just as you drive down that road, it is rather bumpy. We're going to put a top coat
Yes.
of asphalt over it. once
Yeah,
the project-
it's better to do all of that in one, in one time, so it's more consistent.
Fantastic. I know that was not about the dashboard itself, but it's one of the icons on there, so I thought I'd.
It's one of
bring
the projects. It's still a capital project.
Ask the questions. Anybody else have any other questions? Would entertain any other business.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn's been made
Everybody's
and
favorite business.
seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned.
I don't know how to understand that. See what